Yeah, okay. So the first thing we're talking about, Sam, is one of my favourite shows of all time. And that is not just in the
Yes.
anime circle, that is just in general one of my favourite all time shows.
Wow.
Um, and
Like, I knew that this was big for you, and I knew that you really enjoyed this, but I didn't think it went that far.
yeah.
I didn't think it was like one of your all-time
Oh,
greats.
yeah. Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, like, my anime journey is still relatively short-lived. So, like, I don't know. Yeah, I guess we've never really had a conversation on where, like, anime ranks compared to mainstream stuff that I've watched previously.
Traditional media, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a conversation for another time. That would be fun. But we are talking about Attack on Titan because was it yet? Where did it drop? Did it drop literally yesterday when we watched it, or did it drop?
As of recording, it dropped yesterday. Okay. So I went into town, and my friend like watched it as it went live on Crunchyroll an hour after it aired in Japan, and I was like, God damn it! I have to wait a whole day until I can watch this new episode. It's the final season, part 3, the final chapters.
Yeah.
And we're getting near to the end of this story.
And this first episode was a long sort of what do they call it?
A 1 hour special.
1 hour special. There we go. And it picked off right where we left off, and even had a little flashback. So like the very first episode of Eren and Mikasa just sort of chilling out by the tree. And then we get this cut to these two boys who are like hoarding money to try and save money, and then
oh god,
okay,
yeah.
Honestly, this show just keeps getting worse and worse in terms of like pushing the boundaries of what's acceptable to put on TV, because
just hurting and suffering. It's
brutal, man.
Amazing that they got away with this.
So, are we doing full spoilers? Should we? Right. Okay. So my initial reaction, if people don't want to have spoilers, because this is
let's go non-spoiler than spoiler.
Okay. Right. Okay. So non-spoilers is
general feel for
it's very gruesome. It's heart-wrenching. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of relationship stuff going on in this one, I feel.
Surprisingly,
surprisingly so. I'm not sure how I feel about that. There was some badassery in terms of certain characters.
There's a good bit of action.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably 2 big standout action set pieces in this episode that are like, if you like your ODM gear, flips and flying through things and like taking on titans, then there's 2 segments in mind that that will get your attention and like draw you in.
Yeah. I think overall, I felt. I just feel like it's chaos. It's just chaos, and like that's what they're going for.
That's what I like about it so much, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the idea that the apocalypse is currently happening, and what can we do to try and stop it? / oh no, it's already 80% of the way there.
Yeah.
Like, everything has gone wrong.
They're just trying to put that stopper back in the bottle, but like all they've got is dregs left.
Yeah.
It's like, can we just save the dregs, please? Just save the dregs.
Could we just keep like
won't somebody
people
think
just
of
please.
the dregs?
Think of the dregs, goddammit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in this final death throes of the entire series, and it is so hopeless in a lot of ways, but we're following characters who are not willing to let that hope die out, and that's the draw. I think in terms of typical shonen or typical anime, you always kind of know that the good guys are going to come through in the end and stop the evil bad guys, like Big Bad Plan.
Yeah.
But here with Titan,
you don't know. You just
our
don't
hero
know what's gonna
became
happen.
the big bad guy.
Exactly, yeah.
We have seen him in the last season. Like, we saw him killing people. He started the rumbling. The Titans are moving, and we're kind of getting almost a deconstruction of what do you do? How do you talk to yourself when the world is ending and you don't want to stop it, but there are other factors there that kind of like push you towards you're the only one who can.
Yeah.
Especially when we look at like Reiner and Annie. It's a very new and interesting dynamic for shonen show for any kind of show to be taking.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think this episode in particular does a good job of recapping stuff from before, sort of without hitting you over the head with it. Because I mentioned to you before, I watched it. I was like, please tell me there's a recap, because so much has happened since the last season, and so much happened during the past 4 seasons or whatever. I don't know how much I actually can remember. So there was enough information there to sort of bring us back to where we needed to be. There's still loads though. Like, it's such a dense show. I feel like there's so much that I'm misremembering or forgetting, just like important details. So, yeah. But I think overall, just, I don't know, a little scared of where it's going, and like I've been feeling that for the past whole season, right? Like it's not a new feeling, but just still a bit of sort of.
I think as soon as we opened up that basement, like any expectation of how this could go was just out the window, and it was completely fresh ground. And you're like, oh, everything I know has now been upturned.
Yeah.
There's whole other countries, there's whole other reasons behind the Titans, and the layers just kept stacking on and stacking on and stacking on. Yeah. And now, like, it's almost as if the author went, okay, so I want to add this depth and this layer to the universe, but also I want to end the series, so all the mystery, all the intrigue, doesn't matter. It's rumbling time.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Right, should we get into spoilers? If people don't want to hear spoilers, skip ahead to the next time segment, which I will put in the
which
in
will
the description.
Be the 7 Deadly Sins review.
Oh yeah.
But we're going to have a little bit of a chat about the most recent episode and kind of what we said we weren't going to do about what happened.
We said we weren't going to refer to that.
We said we weren't going to refer to that. Let's back that up.
Yeah. Shall we get into spoilers, and we'll have a quick recap of what happened in a bit more detail.
Absolutely.
Sam. Hanji.
Yes.
I want to talk about Hanji.
Oh, Hanji. Light of my life. The person who brought us such great memes, such as Sean and Bean, the Titans back from season 1. The person who becomes the commander because they are literally the only person left with any sort of experience and leadership. And then...
Yeah, and then the same thing happens to Armin. He's just like, well, I'm captain now.
Surprise, I guess I'm technically the commander of the scouts now.
Yeah, I'm commander of all of you 4 people. Like, that's fine.
Of all of you 4 people and my enemies and... okay, dedicate your heart. Shinzo Sasageo, let's go, boys. Yeah, this episode deals with Hanji's last stand, as we saw in the final season, part 1, that came out before. The goal of our guys is to get on this seaplane and then take off so they can catch up to Eren. It's the only thing they can do. And here comes the rumbling. Here comes all these colossal titans. What are we going to do? Someone's got to stay behind. Someone's got to be a badass. But we need Levi. Like, he's crippled.
Do we need Levi?
He says himself.
I thought Levi was definitely going to be sacrificing himself. Like,
he was going to be the guy.
Yeah.
You thought he was going to go
not?
in.
Like, they clearly don't have a problem with killing off important characters, and Levi is not one of the main trio, so it's not as. And I think arguably he's had more of a presence than Hanji. Are we going with? Is it Hanji or Hanji? Whatever.
Hanji. I believe.
I think Levi's definitely got more of a presence than Hanji, but it's not, like, massively different. I think they're both still massively impactful characters. And he can't fight. Like, he's screwed up anyway. Like, just throw him to the wolves. Get him to do this last thing. Like, Hanji takes one for the team. And I just...
Nah, we need that final showdown of Levi. Levi needs to get that W against Zeke. Like...
I guess, but, like...
This rivalry... I don't think Zeke has ever won a fight.
Yeah.
He just gets bodied by Levi, but keeps surviving through Path's bullshit.
Yeah, but now
it's no different here. Like
now it's really frustrating though, because it's not even Zeke fighting; it's Eren fighting through Zeke, isn't it? Technically.
He's summoning Path's wielders to fight on his back. Yeah, but to go back to Hanji, like her going out, I think. It's a great bit of storytelling, because up until this point, I don't know about you, but when they mention the rumbling and they talk about it, I'm just like, okay, so there's a load of really tall titans that are going to stomp on everything, but I don't see why that's such, like, surely they might miss stuff, or, like, things can grow back.
This is
but
a
we
big
see
point
through
for me.
Hange's fight.
Yeah, go on, keep going.
Through Hange's fight, we see it's not just that they're big and that they're destructive, like, through sheer force. We see that they're also similar to, is it called Reese from the prior seasons? They're hot. They are giving off so much heat that everything that they stand and they are cauterizing everything that is happening as well. They are burning the air around them. And so when Hange is fighting them and she's taking them all out, after she's used her thunder spears, we're left with her
Having to
using
go
the
hand to
blade,
hand,
and because she
yeah.
has to keep getting as soon as she has to go hand to hand and she's getting close, she's burning up. Literally, we see, like, she literally goes out in a blaze of glory because she's so close to them. Like, the general temperature just keeps ramping up, and obviously you increase the heat enough, flammable things are going to start catching alight, and she does. Like, her skin, her clothes,
Well, it's the
her
same
ODM
as
gear, just
it's the same as Armin with the Colossal Titan. When he becomes the Colossal Titan, he stands there and withholds all of the steam that's coming off the Colossal, because the Colossal they are basically all Colossal Titans, aren't they? They're effectively just the same thing.
and she takes out like 5 of them.
Yeah, she's
Berthold could never.
Yeah, no, he couldn't. Yeah, it's a good ending for her character. It was emotional, not as emotional as I thought it'd be. She's just badass, and it's just great to see her sort of like laughing till the end, sort of going for it. I think, what do we think about Armin and who is it? What's the blonde?
Raina?
The blonde girl, the one that he has the romance with.
Oh, Annie. Oh, their bit on the ship.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit. It's manufactured. I feel a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't love the romance between them, or the attempt at romance. They're still not like saying anything, but
No, I mean it's all implied. Like even Mikasa notes it. Even she's sort of clocked it. So I don't think there's any sort of any miscommunication.
But it even
there.
brings into question how much of that is actually Armin, right? Because we know that Titan shifters inherit memories and sometimes feelings of the people beforehand.
So is this Berthold?
So is it Berthold? We know that Berthold liked Annie. Like, he was very clear about that. So is this just a holdover? Does Armin have like free choice in this? Is he actually like Annie, or is he letting Berthold's affection affect him?
The whole argument
And then
here
in
is that
that case,
the whole argument here though is that it's the proof is in the pudding when he was going to visit her and like spending all that time with her when she was sort of encased in crystal or whatever it's
in the crystal, yeah.
So that suggests they're going along the lines that it predates Berthold. But maybe that's like
but then paths.
a way around. yeah.
If there's any issue, you just say paths.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what we're calling that the connection to their future selves and stuff? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, like with the big tree and it's the sandy place and there's the original user like building people out of sand. That is called paths and basically is used to hand wave 90% of the series bullshit.
yeah. All right. I reckon they could. I reckon there are a lot of people here, so we're not really on board with that relationship. I reckon. What do you reckon to the destruction of the Titans in general? Because I reckon I could dodge those feet.
Well, yeah. Well, this is the thing as well, right? Like, I don't think that having that many Colossal Titans, it's not stated that they're like able to circumnavigate the globe. Like, if it was like there are so many Titans that if they walk in a straight line, then the whole world will be destroyed. No, we have this tiny Madagascar-sized island with a lot of big Titans on it, and apparently now Eren's stomping through like 80% of the population. I feel like some people would slip through the cracks, surely.
Yeah.
But until Hange's fight, I'm like, oh, well, if it's hot as well, then they're burning anything that doesn't get crushed is being burned, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
maybe,
enough.
But we don't really see that until her fight. Like, we see a lot of stomping, and we see like the opening scenes where those kids are getting crushed.
Oh my god,
it's so grim. But
that boy's head explodes like a watermelon. It is not fun. It's not a good time.
It's really not. But
it's... and the flashback to Eren where he's like, sorry, and he knows in the future, I kill you in the future.
That's and
okay. It's like,
so let's just.
But he's like, there's nothing I can do.
Let's just admire, like the sort of realist, the way they've approached like this inner torment that every character now has. Like, this has shown the effects of war. No matter what side you're on, it just screws with your head, and these people are sort of irreparable in a lot of ways. You've got Reiner, you've got Annie, you've got
Reiner, the suffering champion. If there was a suffering Olympics, Reiner would be the gold medal winner.
He would be. Like, he was the OG sufferer. But now, like, everyone's being like little mini Reiners, and everyone's like resonating with him, and they're all best buds. It's like, we know what you're going through. I am just like you. I am just like you. Everyone's just like Reiner. It's just a whole clan of Reiners. So, like, I think... But that's what the show is doing really well at the minute. It's just portraying that, like, despair, and just there's nothing. Everyone's just going through.
There's like
it, just like
there is an ember of hope left, and it's whether people are willing to like grab it. There's so much pain and death and destruction like everywhere, and you've got these people who have the capacity to maybe stop it, but a lot of them don't want to. A lot of them literally just want it to be over. They're done, and it's so interesting watching that process like work itself out in real time, and then eventually deciding, okay, we're gonna give it a shot, and then to just again more suffering just heaped on top of that. Hange dies. You've got the plane like is barely fueled. Onyakopon is like trying to keep this thing in the air.
What happens to the plane? Does it we don't see it land, do we?
We see it run out of fuel and start gliding towards like the last settlement where Reiner's parents are on top of that mountain. But that's all we see from now. And and then that brings us, I guess, into the final scenes of the special, which is...
the song. The music that plays.
Which one? The Hange one? Or the one when they drop out the plane?
One where they drop out the plane.
Good God, they're... and it's like, all right, boys, where are we dropping? We're gonna kick this guy's ass.
Yeah,
it's like it's pure Sawano, and I love it.
It's brilliant. That whole scene is so fast paced. Like, there's just everyone's gliding down. We've got people in Titan form. We've got people not in Titan form. We've got ODM gear. We've got... I don't know. I just...
We've got Monkey Boy's back.
Yeah, Monkey Boy's back. I didn't want it to stop. I was just like, you carry on right in this fight. We're right there. Let's see what happens. I feel like there's going to be... I feel like Eren is going to do something different. I don't like this big Eren. Like, yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, like, he's just indestructible at the minute. Like, they're dropping all kinds of explosives on him, and it's not even flinching.
It's not even flinching.
But
he's
I want
just this
Eren
big bony monster.
Kick-ass Eren. I want Eren like...
I want angry flame mode Eren from season 1. Like,
that was... Do you remember that? That was a simpler time back then. Like, that was...
A simpler time.
I don't know about you, because you've read the manga and stuff, but, like, my mind was blown in that moment when, like, Eren... It wasn't, actually, because I called it. I called it that Titan that was Eren. But just thinking how far we've come from that first season. And
from when, like, Mikasa's there with, like, the knife facing off against a random Titan, and then Eren, who we didn't know was Eren at the point, just, like, decks the Titan and just blows up the whole stream. You predicted it. I, however, was a meager anime only with no manga knowledge until the first season ended, and I was like, I can't let it stop here.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, thinking of the evolution of the series to now is remarkable.
Yeah.
And I guess to kind of, because we're going to have to wait a couple of months until the next special, which seems to be how they're producing these.
Yeah.
I want to know, what are your big predictions on what is coming next?
It's so hard, man, because this show makes left turns look like just like part of the furniture. It's just. I don't think Erin's gonna have a change of heart. I think they're gonna have to kill him. That's what I'm going with. It's easy. I think they're gonna have to kill him. I think Mikasa's gonna be the one to do it. I think she's gonna have to take him out at the end, and then maybe she becomes the Attack Titan, and then it all starts again.
Ooh. And then it's just cyclical.
Attack on Titan 2. they just get rid of all of the seasons, and it's just Attack on Titan 2. Start again.
Attack on Titan 2. Now with Mikasa. Interesting. Yeah.
What you giving it out of 10? This first
this special
episode, this special.
But like, before I give it a rating, I do just want to say, like you said, how far gone Eren was, and I just want to really shout out that moment where it's Kid Eren looking at him walking across the earth, but he's actually the Titan. He throws his arms out and he's like, "I'm free." Like, I just really want to like hone in on that, because that scene is absolutely incredible, and it just shows he's gone. Like, he is delusional, and he is like,
he's not Eren.
Nothing matters anymore.
Well, I think
he's not Eren.
The only thing that matters is the mission. He's just pulled himself.
Yeah.
He's lost himself,
and that's always been.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always been Eren. He has been single focus, single target.
Well,
I think that added with the two different action set pieces we get, and the ruminating on the hope and despair of life and trying to fight on, I think it's solid. I'd probably give it maybe an 8 or a 9, I think. I'd probably lean more towards an 8.
Yeah,
I think
I'd go with an 8.
It's not up there with like the end of season 3, which was just spectacular. I don't think it was like the last season, the final season, part 1 or whatever. I think that was like a solid 9, just because of the twists, the turns, Eren's having his bloody head shot off. Like, those moments. There wasn't as much of that here, but it is still very good.
Yeah, I'll agree.
How about
with
you?
That. No, I'll agree with that. For all the reasons you said, I'll say 8 out of 10. I guess
Cool.
We'll look forward to next week. Should we move on?
I think we should move on. Yes.